Hi, and welcome back to the second video in our series on taking a shed created in Revit and turning it into a tiny home floor plan. You'll notice that I've already actually extended out this wall on the right-hand side just a little bit since I originally began the project. All you need to do to slide walls is to actually select them and click and drag, and you can move those walls as far as you would like, either in or out. I'm going to do that on each end of my shed, making sure that I have the walls selected. Now it will let me go over the furniture, that's just fine. And I'm looking actually at the number at the way top of the floor plan, making sure that I'm not going out beyond 34 feet. I do want to maintain this as a tiny home. And in order to do that, if I go much beyond 34 feet, I'm not really in the realm of tiny home anymore. Now that I have extended out, I really get an understanding of how much space my furniture is actually taking up. I am purposefully moving that queen size bed in to the tiny home, and I know for sure I'm not going to use this twin bed, so I'm going to select it and hit delete on my keyboard to get rid of it. I'm also going to take this king size bed and do the same thing. Select it and hit delete on my keyboard to get rid of it. I may or may not use this couch later on, so I'm just going to slide it over here closer to where I'll be planning out a living room space. I also may or may not use this chair later on, so I'm going to just slide that over to where I plan to put in a living room space. Next thing I need to do is I actually want to try and move all of my kitchen stuff over closer to the front door. I'm not sure what I all plan to keep yet, but let's see if I can select these things and move just my kitchen. And that did not let me do that. I'm going to try zooming in, and I'm going to select one item at a time, and I'm going to look, holding down a key on my keyboard. I think it is my control button. Yep, I'm going to hold down my control button, watching and moving slowly as things turn blue to select them, because I love to be able to move everything all at the same time and not have a lot of work for myself later on in moving things individually. There's one more. It's not letting me select it. Really being careful about where I put my mouse. There it is. Nope. There it is. I have that dishwasher. I don't think I have that kitchen cabinet yet, but that's okay. I have most everything. I'm going to end up probably deleting a couple of those items anyways, so I'm just moving those over. And I'm going to deselect everything. It looks like I missed this cabinet, and I'll just delete that. It looks like I missed this cabinet. Oops, one of those I wanted to keep. So I'm doing a Control-Z on my keyboard to undo that wrong delete. That's good enough for now. Let's see what it looks like in 3D view. In 3D view, I do have a couple of overlapping cabinets, but that's okay. I'll fix that later. Because what I really was hoping to do is to get a little bit of space here in the middle so I can add a wall and turn this into a bedroom and then add in a bathroom. So let's get started. I'm going to actually go up to the top in my architecture tab and choose my wall tool. The default wall tool in Revit is the basic 8-inch wall. Now, I am teaching in Minnesota, and we do need to think about wall thickness here, especially right now, the temperatures are plummeting, but we don't really need to ever plan an 8-inch wall. And I already told you I'm doing interior, so I'm actually going to not use that wall for a couple of other reasons. But most importantly, I don't need 8 inches. I'm gonna slide all the way down to interior, 4 inches and 7/8. And I'm gonna choose that one. The other reason I really like this interior wall is it gives me a height default at 8 feet high. Some of the other walls in Revit default to a lot higher of a wall height, which gets kind of funky looking when I add them into my Space 3D. So with my wall tool selected, I'm going to come into my workspace and I'm going to look for some helper numbers. You can see that popping up on my screen is a helper saying, hey, if you put a wall here, it's going to be at 9 feet. So that sounds good. That sounds like a nice place to start. I'm going to click to start, and then I'm going to let go, and I'm going to bring my mouse straight down. Notice how it likes to snap to 90 for me. I don't have to work really hard to keep it at that 90-degree angle. And now I'm going to look to make sure I'm planning at least a 3-foot wide hallway. Now this is this is middle of the wall to middle of the wall, so that wouldn't be a wide enough hallway. So I'm going to plan mine at 3'6". I'm going to click to start, and I'm going to make a rectangle. I want to plan my bathroom to be about 6 feet interior or middle to middle of the wall. And now I have a bathroom space. So I have a good start here on my bathroom. I'm going to take this bathroom sink and move that in. I always like when I enter a bathroom to have the first thing I plan out to be the sink. And then I'm going to try to move in my toilet, but knowing how much I've done Revit before, I know it's not going to move very nicely. So I'm actually just going to take and hit delete on my keyboard to delete that, and I'll add it in again in a moment. So to add that toilet back in, I'm going to go back to the top of my screen in my Architecture tab, choose Components, and because I've already loaded this toilet, I can choose the toilet from the drop-down. I'm going to scroll most of the way down because they're alphabetical, selecting the toilet, and then I'm going to place the toilet right next to the sink. Oh, speaking of the sink, I just realized now it's backwards. So I'm going to hit Escape 2 times to drop the toilet. And now I'm going to take this sink, and I should be able to hit this arrow and flip it. There we go. And it looks like it's actually floating a teeny bit inside the wall. So using my arrow key, I just bumped out that sink just a little bit. Now let's see if I can move my shower in to my bathroom space. Yep, and it is actually letting me move it in. And I'm going to place the shower in the corner. This is not really ideal as far as the space to get in. So I think I'm going to actually change around the layout of my bathroom just a little bit, because I don't ever want to step over the toilet to get into the shower, and this is not enough space to enter the shower. So what I'm going to do is I am going to actually take this wall and I'm going to slide it out just a little bit. Yep, right about there. I'm actually going to delete my toilet one more time. I'm going to add my component, and I'm going to go back and add that toilet in, and this time I'm going to put my toilet right next to my shower. Yeah, I think that's going to work. And then I'm going to leave the sink right here. And now I have in my space, I have a bedroom with a wall, and I have a bathroom. But the next thing I need to do is I need to get doors to enter this space. And then this is a tiny house, so it's going to be really important I add in way more natural light. So in our next video, I'm going to show you how to add in interior doors and windows and a couple of exterior doors.